the other day we had a Wagyu steak, and it was really, really good.
Did you cook it yourself?
No.
Okay.
It was cooked at a restaurant, just, restaurant in Detroit. Amazing steak. But it's still, the texture of those types of steaks are just different. The look of it, because there's so much fat in there, it looks different and still tasted amazing. Mm-hmm. I'd still rather have y'all's.
I'm a meat eater. Mm-hmm. I always have been. I wish I knew more about the cattle industry. I don't. I know what I know as far as what we buy. Yeah. I mean, I've had some crazy Wagyu that's amazing, like some Japanese Wagyu that's melts in your mouth, that kind of thing. That's not what we do. I mean, we do like a Texas steak, you know?
No, and that's what I love.
Yeah,
like, I mean, that was a great meal for where we were and what we were doing and everything. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't knock it at all. But I enjoy that. Yeah. I enjoy like a choice steak most of the time, personally. That's me personally. But sometimes Prime gets a little greasy.
We have awesome purveyors who really do pick great meat for us. The Beeman ribeye comes from the Beeman Ranch. All of our tenderloins, we actually have a meat guy who grades them, and we get upper 2/3 choice, which is like the tiniest step underneath Prime. Yep. And that's why it is absolutely like melt in your mouth, and it's not too fatty. It's not too. Yeah, it's perfect.
I was gonna say, I bet that y'all's are choice steaks, but like the upper end choice, because you get to Prime and it gets greasy. If you have a bad Prime, it's like you're sucking on a stick of butter.
I don't know what restaurant can afford Prime right now either, to be honest.
Yeah, that's got
to be. They're the ones charging $150 a steak.
For a fillet. yeah.
Exactly. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah. We don't want to run everybody off, so I'd rather be able to have people actually be able to afford to eat our food.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not going with the steak option. Sometimes we go with the chicken option. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, that chicken, the butter chicken, is amazing. And I do that's weird too. I do it deconstructed.
That's because of Matt.
Yeah, Matt Milligan taught me how to do that, and it is amazing. And that chicken is so crispy, and then you get this garlic mashed potatoes with a Dijon cream sauce on it, and you dip it in, cut your chicken, dip it in there, swipe it through the potatoes. It's like I'm in elementary school again. Just, you didn't do that? You take your chicken fried steak and you cut it, swipe it into the mashed potatoes, swipe it into the gravy, and pop it in your mouth. Oh, it's so good.
I didn't eat at school. I was one of those like weird kids who hated to eat at like the meals that they cooked at school.
Cafeteria was not fun.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't like any of that.
For me, one of the unique things about Fire Oak is the location, right? Oh, yeah. And we've talked about this a lot. Fire Oak's located right on the square in Weatherford. How old's the building?
I may be off by a couple years, but the documentation I have says 1876.
1876.
Yeah, so it was built before the current courthouse. We have pictures of our building in the background when the current courthouse was being built.
So how many ghost residents are...
We actually just had ghost hunters come through, and they actually just published like a paranormal investigation. So I actually have a little more information on this now.
Nice.
When we first bought Fire Oak, not the building, we bought the building in 2021. So when we actually bought Fire Oak, we had a manager there, and he would tell us about these ghosts who were mischievous, and they lovingly called them Stan and Ophelia because they thought there was a man and a woman. So it took a little while for myself to have any sort of encounter with these, whatever you want to call them. But our staff would tell us stories. Kim, who's still there, our manager, she was in the window one day cleaning, and she felt someone like just push her hair away from her neck, and she turned around and goes, "You scared me," and nobody was there. Oh, so like...
here we go.
Yeah, we've had like interesting, like you're in the room by yourself, and you hear your name.
Yeah.
One night we were closing with that same manager, and it was just myself and our manager and our dishwasher, and we were all gonna walk out together. But I was like, I'm gonna go to the restroom really quick, and then we can all walk out together. So I get down the hallway, you know where it is. It's down the long hallway. I get in the door, and before I'm even in a stall, all three men are at the door, like yelling, like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm I'm fine. What are you talking about? They're like, "Did you scream?" I'm like, "I did not scream." And they all are like white. Like, we heard a woman scream. Like,
So they heard it, you didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. They heard it. And so
Yeah.
my husband was scared. He thought I walked in and there was someone in there, like
yeah.
waiting to attack me, or,
Yeah.
you know, we've had a snake. Maybe there was a snake in there. You know that story. So
I wasn't going to bring that one up.
it's okay. Fun things about old buildings and having a basement that's like 10 feet down is you get interesting things. We had some paranormal investigators come through at the end of February, and they came by Fire Oak and told us their results.
Yeah.
And Kim and I actually stayed there with them.
Yeah.
And Kim's son Justin stayed till 2:30 in the morning while they were doing this investigation. And when I tell you, Kim and I at one point had our backs against a wall holding hands, because there were so many weird things that were taking place, and nothing that was, you know, felt bad or anything like that. But these ladies had just basic mag light flashlights in the windowsills upstairs in the Parker room, and they would ask a yes/no question, and the flashlight would come on. No one's over there turning the flashlight on. It's not like it's a remote control. Kim and I picked up all the equipment like this is a joke, right? They believe there's actually 4 spirits there, this team.
Okay.
They think there's a man, a woman, a young man, like young teenager, and then a girl.
Okay.
And we don't know the age. So they did get some names while they were there.
Yeah.
They think instead of Stan, they think his name's Robert. So we've been trying to get in the habit of calling him Robert.
Yeah.
And then the girl, they think her name's Grace. So we try to say that. And then they do think that the woman's there, but she never came through.
Yeah.
They just heard the other ghosts talking about her. Well, and so they know she's there. So it's I don't know how all that stuff works either, you know. And I'm not exactly skeptical, but because I've experienced it,
you know, there's something crazy.
There's something going on. I don't have the explanation for it.
I've been to Fire Oak a lot. Let's say I've never encountered a ghost, so you don't have to worry about ghosts.
They are super not active when our restaurant is full.
Yeah.
It's usually early in the morning, late at night when nobody else is there. Like our sous chef used to hear voices while she was there early in the morning by herself. No one was there. Kim late at night. This was not that long ago. She was in the downstairs office, which is inside the kitchen, and she heard a man's voice say, "Help me."
Oh gosh.
And so she then had to go through the rest of the restaurant and lock up everything and turn the lights on. And she texted me, and I was like, "Nuh-uh, no way. Like, you should have gone right out that back door. Don't lock up. Leave the lights on." That's how I would have been. I would have been right outside. Nope, absolutely not. So anyway, it is interesting with something that's been around since, you know, the late 1800s. There's got to be some sort of energy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it is interesting, and there are days that it feels a little off there, and then there's days that it feels completely normal.